I want to add my fury to the others who've expressed that fury. I mean, the basic problem with this issue for a long time is that patients believe the NHS Tayside has been secretive and evasive. That's why we're having a public inquiry. Many of these issues could have been dealt with years ago if only NHS Tayside management had been open. So any kind of trust that existed already that remained has now been completely shattered. So I hope that this Parliament speaks with one voice to NHS Tayside, that they have done irreparable damage to the trust, not just in NHS Tayside, but in the NHS as a whole. And I hope the Cabinet Secretary relays that real anger that many of us feel very strongly, that therefore we need to have a change in culture, a change in approach, so we never have this again.
Cabinet Secretary.
Presiding Officer, that is exactly what I relayed to the Chief Executive of NHS Tayside when I spoke to her earlier today. I know from the conversations that I have had with some of Mr Rennie's, Mr Mara's, Ms Smith's constituents, as well as others who have made representations to me on behalf of constituents and whom I have met, the low level of trust that there is in NHS Tayside. And I set out in my first answer to Liz Smith that I recognised that that was already low, and I made that clear to NHS Tayside, the reputational damage that this has caused, not just to Tayside, but the wider NHS, and to the process through which the constituents that Mr Rennie represents was hoping for answers to come through. And that has absolutely been put across to NHS Tayside, and I expect this to be, in terms of the culture that Mr Rennie has asked for around the NHS. I have answered very clearly in response not just to these questions, but also to other questions in recent weeks around my expectation of a culture of candour, of a speak-up culture within our NHS to ensure that staff and patients are given the service that they deserve.